All right. Next we have Jennifer Still. She said that right. At least I got the easy last name. Thank you. Is a GIS analyst for Integrated Informatics in Houston, Texas. She began working for the company about 2013. She's worked for various oil and gas clients. She is also a graduate of the University of South Carolina. One of my friends would be very happy to hear that. Go Gamecocks. And she's worked with a mixed bag of electric utilities, stormwater maintenance, etc. So, this is all yours.
Can everybody hear me okay? I'm talking about it. Awesome. How are y'all doing? You awake? Almost ready to get out of here? All right. Well,
Beer, wine, or chilling?
they're all waiting in about 15 minutes. We got this. All right, today I'm going to talk about embracing the online platform. But before I do that, I want to give you a little background about my company. Integrated Informatics has been around for over a decade now. Let's see. We specialize in GIS services, and we have 3 primary offices. U.S. is, of course, in oil and gas capital, Houston, and then the other 2 are in Calgary and St. John's, Newfoundland. Although each office offers a variety of products based on the area and the industries in the region, the bulk work of what we do is managing data, automating workflows, and customizing applications for the natural resources sector. And we also happen to be an Esri business partner, so the majority of our products are based in their software. And today I'm going to cover letting go of paper maps and moving into an online platform. And you may notice this a couple of slides in, but this is much less technical than all of the talks today. It's more about functionality in your GIS experience as opposed to the data that you're using. So the ways in which we interact with our data have changed drastically over time. Gone are the days where utilizing paper maps as a go-to resource for most companies. Some companies still keep them around, but rather they've been replaced with mediums like dashboards and mobile applications. Not only do these resources encourage a company to stay in tune to the technology around them, but they also harbor more collaboration between an organization, both inside and outside. One of the more useful resources are web applications. And you may be employing these in your own organization. From all the talks today, it kind of sounds like a little bit of everyone has some sort of experience with them. Or you may have just encountered them on a website you frequent or Google Maps, whichever. Either way, this is an approach that comes in handy for a number of reasons. One is that it offers cross-platform compatibility. So rather than having to have a license to ArcMap or, God forbid, know how to use it, or ensure a file has been saved to the appropriate software version. Instead, all you really need is a web browser and an internet connection. So you can use anything from Chrome, Firefox, or even Internet Explorer if you're feeling really brave. The second perk is that, let's see, where am I at? That they're much more manageable. Since they only require that you publish them on the server, the end user has little to no responsibility. So you have an easier time updating them, and they have less of a chance of screwing up things that you spent hours working on. And finally, web applications are highly deployable. So like point 2, you can set what the end user sees and modifies. So you have a much better chance of keeping everything safe and securing your live data in the process. The benefits of web-based mapping applications are almost countless. The good thing about them is it's cross-platform, cross-industry. It can be used for oil and gas, it can be used for agriculture, electric, any sort of utility, you name it. But with that being said, there are a few considerations that should be given whenever you embrace the online platform. And for the sake of time, we'll put those into 5 categories. And these include offering a customizable interface, including outside resources, providing analytics, generating reports, and managing your content. These may not be in every application you come across, but they do provide a more personal and functional experience for your user. But before I get to those, first I'm going to talk about the key players. Two of our own web applications, I'll be using those to illustrate these 5 points that I just mentioned. The first is the Newfoundland and Labrador Nature Atlas, and the second is called Integrated Guardian. The first application was developed for the Nature Conservancy of Canada, since a lot of our work is, of course, done in Canada. The Nature Atlas, besides having an extremely long name, is an online resource for a multitude of maps pertinent to the area, including anything from protected areas, rare and special plants, tracking human footprint, you name it. The maps themselves are cataloged on the Nature Atlas website, where users can easily interact with them. They don't require a plugin or an extension or you to download anything. So that's pretty a no-hassle approach. The second is our Integrated Guardian application. This piece of technology is deemed the Environmental Effects Data Management System. So it allows for a GIS-based approach to your EEM program, and it seeks to conquer the big data challenge. So it offers easy access to huge volumes of data that are collected for past and current EEM surveys. And like the previous application, it also runs in a web browser and does not require you to install anything. So now that I've introduced those two, we can move on to the actual points. The first is a customizable interface. When designing your user experience, you should ensure that the basic map operation tools are represented in your application. One great thing about using desktop software is that you are guaranteed access to things like zooming and panning and just these things that you wouldn't necessarily think you need, but you definitely need. So why not give your user the same ease of access online? The Atlas's map control, as you can see in the cute little orange box, offers a number of tools for basic operations. These include anything from zooming, navigating extents, and measuring and identifying. In addition to these, you could offer more advanced tools. You can consider giving them something that they may not know that they're missing. For instance, the Nature Atlas also offers more specialized tool sets like Clip and Ship, which allows you to export data sets based on which are visible within the table of contents. Table of contents on your left. And another thing that this application offers is a way to interact a little more with your data. So you can change the transparency of each layer, but instead of having to go through and change properties and type in a number and go through that whole deal, you can do something more interactive, like sliding scale bars, something familiar that they may have used in other applications. And if you're looking for something a little more high level, you can also consider things like markup options. For example, Integrated Guardian allows users to insert text on the map itself, and they have full control of everything from font size to line width and all of that glorious stuff. And the edits that are included on the exported map that is a result of the exporting tools up at the top. Another thing when it comes to your interface is to allow people to save their settings. Most people get kind of upset if they go through all these changes and then have no way to keep track of it or share it. It's kind of like you're doing work for nothing. So the Atlas allows logged-in clients to save their personal settings, and then they can go back and create groups and share it with other users, which is a pretty awesome thing to do. So the second point, data inclusion. Although it's not always ideal to include your data in conjunction with third-party resources, it's not always the best or most efficient use of time to source those materials yourself. Unless you have an intern, you could pretty much make them do whatever you want them to do. But there's also outside resources you could take advantage of, like base maps and weather layers. Like we see in this example for Integrated Guardian, let's see, it offers web mapping services that come from, the majority of these come from government agencies like NOAA and Environment Canada, and can be used as weather layers, environmental layers, just pretty much anything that you may need or want. The trick in this is making sure it's accessible and that it's legit. You want to make sure it comes from a trusted source and not just some person playing around with their computer. Third category is analytics. Guardian does a great job of this. It includes processes that range from anything from simple to a little bit more complex that you wouldn't expect out of an application. For example, the simpler ones include searching within the available data by chance of keywords or something like that, and then when results are pulled, they appear below, so it's in proximity of your eyesight. You don't have to go out look for it. Likewise, it also offers the capability of searching by radius. So from the toolbar, you just select the search radius button and then type in what you want, and it does the exact same thing. So you don't have to go searching for the results, and you have everything right there at hand. In addition to that, it allows you to export the data. So when it's in the general application, it just gives you brief examples of what you're seeing, but then you can export everything to a CSV file, so you have a little bit more information to go off of. Some of the more advanced features that Integrated Guardian offers that you may want to consider in your own applications are more innovative geostatistical analysis services that previously would only be available in something like desktop, like, for instance, kriging surface and inverse distance weighted. So the user can perform these within the application itself in a matter of minutes and then have the results right there at hand. So the person who's using it doesn't have to know how to use ArcMap, doesn't have to know how to put settings or data in, and has a less chance of screwing something up along the way, which is the main point of all of this. Next, we have reporting. So even if you have the ability to export your map, a lot of organizations want something a little more technical. I like pretty pictures. So for instance, Guardian utilizes the third-party plotting technology to create plots based on the information in the application. So you don't have to go outside of the resource to get anything like that. You can correlate relevant feature parameters like chemical concentration or anything like that that may be in the attributes by clicking on the graph and then seeing what features are highlighted. It also gives you additional ways to impress your boss, since these reports can be exported into formats that can then be shared. And finally, we have content management. I can't talk today. So the ability to save your personal settings was mentioned earlier. Additionally, having the ability to share alternate versions of one map service is also a pretty good thing to have. Because giving people access to the data doesn't really mean anything unless you have some way to rein it back in. So for instance, the Nature Atlas takes advantage of the sharing culture in a few different ways. The first is that clients can create groups in which they then publish their own maps and invite people in and out. They have complete control over what they want to include, what they want to exclude, who they want to ban from their groups, and then likewise, the site administrator can delete it altogether. In addition to that, rather than altering an existing map, you can also create one from currently published map services. So once this is done, Administrators have full reign of whatever's in there. They're pretty much the police of the web mapping platform. They can alter text, alter graphic content, even delete it if they deem it not necessary to a publication. And then finally, the control management system allows you to publish maps based on one map service, but with different behaviors. Say you have one map, but you want an identify feature to return feature labels in Spanish, but you also want it in English. You can publish two different maps based on the same service, but with different behaviors. So regardless, the underlying map service stays the same. And with all of that being said, it's best to think about your end user and what he or she wants ultimately. An app that's easy to navigate, intuitively understood, and has sound data is a great thing. But an app that offers customization and some sort of analytical prowess is just icing on the cake. And with that, I'll leave you here and invite you to ask any questions if you may want.
Time for questions?
What software or programming language is used to develop this web GIS?
For these particular applications, I think there were a couple of languages used. Most, it was JSON.